Hey guys, welcome to another exciting movie review. Today we are going to go over the movie Nope that actually recently hit theaters this weekend. First off, I'd like to thank all you individuals who are watching or subscribing, because independent locations like myself, as well as all across YouTube or independent filmmakers, we can't do this unless if it's without the support of you guys. So we can't honestly thank you enough. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the review of Nope.
Hello there, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children.
So Nope is actually the third installment for Jordan Peele's kind of like horror movie franchise, basically. His Monkey Paw Productions has done things such as Us, as well as Get Out. Now this one takes a little bit of different direction, as it is written and directed by Jordan Peele still. It does star Daniel Kaluuya as OJ, Kiki Palmer as Emerald. There is Stephen Yin that's in here. If you don't know who that name is, think of Glenn from The Walking Dead. So he plays a minor role in this, as well as Keith David. If you don't know who Keith David is, he is the voice of Dr. Facilier in Princess and the Fog. And he does have a recognizable face, so of course you guys will definitely recognize him. He plays the father in the story. Now, without a doubt, this movie starts off right in the bit of the action, just because of the fact that it starts off with a bloody monkey. And you may think, what is this bloody monkey about? Honestly, it took a little bit through the movie to progression for even us to find out, because we don't know what the point of the monkey is. But it does start off with OJ, again played by Daniel, on the ranch with his dad and kind of horse wranglers. Through the history of their family, they have been known to provide horses in the ranch for movies out in Hollywood. Now, one thing strange that happens in the beginning of the film is, of course, all electrical and electricity kind of just goes out of nowhere. They don't know why, but things also start to fall out of the sky. Don't know where it's coming from. You don't know what it is. You think it's hail, but then all of a sudden, the father on the horse leaves the stable, and of course he falls over. He eventually dies, which, that's not really a spoiler, just because of the fact that you do find out that the dad's dead. Even in the trailer, they do mention that. So that's no spoiler warning right then and there. So basically, if you know anything about this movie, in the trailer, it does introduce UFOs and aliens. Well, that's kind of a different direction of Jordan Peele's kind of work. And I mean, honestly, it works, because throughout this movie, I didn't know where it was going. Because in my mindset, I'm thinking, okay, if I did a movie like this, how would I end it? And honestly, in my mind, usually I can kind of play a little bit, like, okay, I could see this going this way, I can see this situation happening that way. And, this movie doesn't really do that. You think you may know the direction it's going or how it's ending, but you're just struggling to actually figure that out, because you just don't know. You don't know how it's going to end. And that's why I really enjoyed this movie, is because of the fact that a lot of movies nowadays, I can figure out the ending or figure out what's going to come up next. This side of the story, this Jordan Peele movie, I didn't know how it was going to end. And it felt fresh. It felt unique. And that's what I really liked about it. Now, as far as top horror directors, Jordan Peele is definitely up there. Just like, of course, Wes Craven, as well as, a lot of the other horror icons too. Even, John Carpenter as well. He is one of the big stones too, which, Jordan Peele has came out that he's no John Carpenter, but he still plays in that realm of one of the best horror directors. Of course, you also have The Conjuring and everybody, James Wan, his horror directing movies. So this movie definitely sets its part from its own, and it's wonderful because it just showcases Jordan Peele's ability of writing and directing. And it is energetic. There are moments in there where it's kind of like a slow moment, but that's okay, because it's leading to something bigger. Every stepping stone of this movie plays out to a bigger picture, to a bigger sequence further down the actual film. So for an example, even in the trailer, they show the setting up camera. Well, there's something happens with that camera that it kind of leads up to something bigger. Now, again, in the generation of alien works, and it's either a hit or miss. I mean, you can have Indiana Jones that ends up being aliens, and at the end, it's a fail. It's unfortunate, because I'm a big Indiana Jones fan. You can have Ridley Scott's, of course, Aliens, and that works out wonderfully. And it has so through the direction of time as well. So you can have a horror movie with aliens. This one sets apart on its own. It is a movie about aliens, but it's also a different type of horror aspect to it. It's not that bloody, I will say that. I will say that the reason why it's rated R is mostly because of the language. There are F bombs throughout it because of the MPAA rating, which basically states you can't have more than one F bomb in a movie. Otherwise, it's going to be rated R. And that's exactly how this feels, is because of that reason. So if it wasn't for those languages or the F bombs, then this movie could have easily been PG-13. But even so, it's great. It is a wonderful movie. It definitely was one of the ones that I will personally buy. I've bought every other Jordan Peele movie that has came out to date. As far as order, me personally, I do thoroughly like Us a lot more. And then, of course, this movie, and then Get Out, which is his directorial as well as written screenplay debut for Jordan Peele. But yeah, that's basically it as far as no spoilers go. Now, if you guys want to wait, you are more than welcome to, because there is going to be a little bit of spoilers after this warning. But if you guys want to dip out now, that's perfectly fine. But I would honestly highly recommend it. It was filmed in an IMAX camera, and it does fit perfectly within that IMAX atmosphere. So if it's one movie that you guys are thinking about going to go see, I honestly would spend the money. It was a good time. It was definitely a Jordan Peele movie, and it showcases that. And I personally think that if you are a Jordan Peele fan, then you will love this. So with that in mind, I will give a countdown clock right now as far to let you know about the spoilers in 3, you better go, 2, right after 2 is going to be 1. And if you're still here, a little bit of the spoiler here. Honestly, you find out about the monkey plays more part of Stephen Yin's backstory, or Yun. I mean, correct me down below in the comments. But it plays more of his backstory. In all honesty, I didn't know and think it was needed as far as the film. You find out that he is a child star, and you find out that he does have, traumatization in there. You find out that, of course, Daniel OJ, Daniel, the actor Daniel, but the character OJ in the film says, his character, the rancher or the showman, basically, since he was a kid, basically fed things to the aliens. So he tried to control a monster. You could honestly have that phrase and not have his backstory. It was fitting. The whole thing with the monkey, yeah, it showcased like you can't control nature, you can't control animals to the fullest. But even so, I didn't personally think that it was needed, because the story could have progressed even without that. But other than that, honestly, that's my only gripe about it. Um, I I loved it through and through. And of course, like I said, that's the only spoiler. That's the only part of the movie that I thought they could have done without, because the movie is over 2 hours long. So if you cut that part out, it's still a fun movie, and it's still energizing as well. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Hit the like button. Share the review as well, because sharing is caring. And be on the lookout for our next video as we go ahead and discuss, it's a little late, but Jurassic Park Dominion, where another part of our members of the Cavalier family and I will go ahead and discuss that. So with that in mind, hope you guys have a great day.